All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracy is related to Upscale Love for You.
Welcome, everyone. This is yours truly, Dr. Fabulous, the CEO and founder of Upscale Love for You, and the host for the evening. And tonight we are coming to you to talk about attraction versus love. And we're going to put it all out there, each and every kind of different ways for you to get a taste and give your opinion of what you think is the baseline of a great relationship, whether it's a physical attraction, because it's all different types of attraction. So if you don't know what it is, you'll learn tonight. So with that being said, I'm gonna pass it over to my co-host, Dr. Feelgood.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Feelgood here, man with the golden boils, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. Coming to you live from the 410, because I'm a hero and never Nero. I'm passing it over to the chocolate pearl, my favorite girl. Go ahead.
Hey, y'all, it's Chocolate Pearl, your favorite girl, the chocolate with the chocolate skin and then the pearly white smile here to brighten up your day with the today's topic. I feel better than I did last week. So handing it over to you, Dr. Fabulous.
Upscale Love for You. If you don't know what our purpose, I'll tell you just a little bit. Upscale Love is formulated to entertain, educate, and facilitate self-help, self-love, and everything you want and wish to know about love, relationships, dating, and marriage. Upscale Love for You often uncovers hot topics, sensitive topics, everything you want to talk about, the tales of singleton to parenting to the different struggles in relationships and everything in between. Whether you are actively seeking directions or looking for a way to pass the time or genuinely looking for a good conversation, you to conversate with none other than Upscale Love for You. So without a further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Chocolate Pearl.
All right, y'all. Thank you, Dr. Fabulous. Well, today's topic is a kind of twister a little bit, so we're going to change it up different ways for today. But my question for today, do you care about your appearance / physical fitness in your partner's eyes? Do you care about what you look like in your partner's eyes? When you out there and you start to let yourself go, do you think that your man still cares and likes what you look like? Are you still attracted to them? Let me know your response. Anybody?
I'll go.
Okay, thank you, Miss Millie.
I do care how I look at all times because, well, that's okay. Because your appearance mean a lot because it says a lot for you. Perception sometimes can go a long ways. So you have to make sure that you are dressing and looking the part that you want to feel. Feel the part. You look the part. And for your mate, with your mate, don't let yourself go because of him. Don't let yourself go because of yourself, first and foremost. Because once you let yourself go, it's hard to come back, and your health means a lot. But for as our little floopable, they don't care about that. They need somewhere to lay their head anyway.
They say you got the cushion for the pushing.
Anybody else? I
Um,
know that.
I'll chime in.
Okay.
I think physical fitness is very important. Especially with me now going through what I went through, I'm still rehabbing, so I'm not able to be as physical as I want to be as far as fitness is concerned. But I'm taking more of a mindfulness towards what I ingest, opposed to how I can. Because I've always lived my life when I can eat whatever I want. I'm gonna work it off anyway. That has been my mentality up until last year.
Right.
So, I mean, I used to play football. I used to sit there and eat all kind of meat and potatoes, stuff that keeps my body weight up to a certain standard. But I always had the mentality of, I'm going to work that off anyway.
Right.
I'm going to turn it into what I want it to be. But now my focus has changed. I can't be as physically fit as I used to be. So I try to adjust now the rate that being mindful. And as far as it is attracting someone, I know that people come in all kind of shapes and sizes. Everybody got somebody that like them. But for me personally, I want to be as I want to do it for myself first. And then whoever I attract, it's a plus.
Right. That's good. Thank you. I too similar have some issues. I've always thought that I was I've been always recently within the last 10 years, I thought I thought I am a beautiful woman. I still feel I'm a beautiful woman, but after my surgery, um, behind my clothes, I don't feel beautiful anymore. Because I was kind of chopped up and, switched around a little bit. I do feel that I'm not attractive with my clothes off. I don't feel like I'm attracted what I'm wearing. And lately I've been wearing, which is not me, sweatshirt. I'm not but I've been wearing jeans because I don't feel like me. I don't think my partner feels I'm attractive. I mean, I am trying to overcome that, but like my cousin told me earlier,
Exactly.
I'm just so I shouldn't have those thoughts in my head, but self-conscious going on in their head about how they actually look to their mate. And do I still look beautiful? Like for instance, if you gain weight because you done had 3 or 4 kids, and like you said, Miss Millie, about the fupa, if your fupa are too big, it done came a fupa. Is
They
he
call that they
still
call that booty do.
attracted? Yeah, if you're not sticking in your butt, then you're not. Yeah, you know what I mean? So do you feel your mate is still attracted to you? Have they said anything to you? Do you feel that when you think that a mate is no longer attracted to you, or think you attracted to them rather, are you going to do something about it? Or are you just going to let it hang? Or are you just going to say, okay, you know what? I done had 3 or 4 babies. If he don't like it, he can go. Do you feel that have that mentality that it is what it is? I don't care. I done got fat. I done gained weight. I got kids. I work hard, but you don't have to keep yourself together. But then next thing you know, they done got attracted to somebody else.
But in your case, chocolate pearl, it's a little different. It's gonna heal some more as it age, but your inner self-love is gonna overcome that. It's gonna take some time, but you're still gonna be the same beautiful person that you are. You got to feel it from the inside, and scars are
To be out.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
So
I just
start
think
thinking on
that
that
You feel
level.
it though.
well,
From
Cause
I
here,
I I
exactly.
know
it's
that,
gonna
but
get
right
better.
now I don't feel like me.
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't
Mhm.
feel like me. I don't feel that sassiness in me. And I don't want to go back to being depressed.
Come hang out with me for one weekend.
I mean, no,
One
don't get me
weekend.
wrong. I do have, and I'm sorry
It's
that I'm crying,
okay.
I'm getting emotional about it. But my mate says that I'm beautiful inside and out. And it didn't matter what surgery I have. But I just feel inside that I do not look good on the outside with my clothes
Okay.
off. So I'm always trying to hide. But he does he does try to build my confidence up. He does.
Mhm.
He's there for me 100%. But I have to do that within me. But will I just let myself go or let myself become depressed about it? Because there's some people who do that. I am one. At times I don't feel like that sassy, sexy chocolate pearl. I feel I sometimes, because right now my stomach is, to me, is lopsided. I feel like Quasimodo for right now. I think I lost my butt because I done sat and laid on it, all that time. Um,
Hit them
I
squats.
even
Hit them
noticed that
squats.
my new breast is sagged. It was like, she said, nobody has
No.
perfect boobs.
And they're not twins,
I
they're
said, but I
cousins.
thought I went through that surgery for you to give me
If they
perfect
perfect, they mean they fake.
boobs,
Exactly.
But
Oh,
I just want to things always gonna get, and that's what I think about every day. I wake up and move around, and even though it might be harder to move around, and even think it's something that needs to be done, something that you
right,
got to go through in order to get back to
right.
where you want to be. So
Accept
keep
the
your head up.
I
process
am. I
day
have a
by
good
day.
support system. I do have a good support system, but I just have those feelings that I feel that I need to express because
Mhm.
I know that there's people out there who feel the same way.
Mhm.
If you have some people who have never went through a major surgery, I went through a 10-hour surgery reconstruction. They rearranged my front side.
Mm.
Move my belly button, have, I won't say my gut, but my stomach out and move to some other places. But it's to go through and to see yourself in the mirror. It's it's somewhat a shock, and you
Yep.
have to get used to it.
Mhm.
I am going to get used to it because I still got a whole year to,
Recover.
to heal. And then I have to go through a couple of more surgeries, but it's just the fact that going through that, you want to feel like yourself again, and you can't, because you do have to face reality. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to look the same. It's Everything's going to change. So my mindset does have to change. But I would like to know, besides Anson and myself, has anybody else gone through some situation, not necessarily surgery, but people get weight loss surgery, people get they um the BBLs going on. That's the popular thing now. Are you doing that for you, or are you doing that for your mate to stay attracted to them? I'm not saying to keep them necessarily. Hopefully they'll love you enough to keep them, but you still want to be sexy in their eyes. Does anybody else have that issue, or know someone that has that issue, or have a testimony about it? Dr. Feel So Good first, and then Dr. Fabulous.
Okay. Dealing with a negative self-image for most of my life, it's been a uphill battle. I looked at myself as not looking good. Now, my mama told me I look good. Other people said it, but I didn't believe it. Said my wife even said that, said, "You look good." I'm like, I thought she took pity on me.
Mm.
But the thing is, though, is I call it hardwire or software. Hardware is what you come up with, grow up with, people telling you things. You think you don't pay attention, but you pay attention, and it's hard to get rid of. Software is what people want you what you see of yourself, and that you can make those changes. Like you said, I feel fat. I don't feel good right now, but eventually I'll get there. Where it's hardwired, like everybody in the world can say, you're handsome, you're pretty, but you look in the mirror and you don't see that. It's kind of a dysmorphia. And you have to really purpose yourself to say, I am comfortable with who I am. Not comfortable in my skin, comfortable in who I am. And I will make improvements daily. I will work harder to be the best version of myself. And if people don't like me, F them. But that's kind of one of those things you have to work at. It's not a one day I'm good, one day I'm not. It's more of I gotta keep reminding myself when I look in the mirror, I gotta be pleased or like what I see. Now, I'm fat. I used to not be fat, but health issues. So I am at a crosswords because when I got thin again, I didn't like the way I looked. But when I got fat again, I didn't like the way I looked. There's a sweet spot in it that I'm working towards. But I was even looking today at getting some more Just for Men. Because I was looking at this and saying, I'm gonna get rid of this gray and white and go back to black. But then I thought about it, I'm like, why? So it's internal, but you got to continue to fight that in order to get to right what you need to see yourself, because you're the first. You got to please yourself, and I don't mean self pleasure. Don't flicking the bean or jacking the whack. I'm talking please yourself, saying I'm okay. We're not always going to be, but today I'm okay, and you have to purpose yourself. That's all I got.
All right, Dr. Fabulous.
Okay, I'm listening to everyone. And I guess I'm just that girl because I've been a plus size diva all my life. And I felt like, or feel like, know that from within, I'm beautiful within and on the outer. Now, I teach seventh grade and different seventh grade entity out here now. And the little girls wear the eyelashes, the long hair, they do it all. But it's one little girl, she's kind of plus. She's a plus size, chunky, thick little girl. And the little guys, they make fun of her. And I had to pull her to the side and say, sweetie, listen, you're beautiful. I said, don't allow anybody to try to diminish your self esteem. I said, because you know what? You got to love you. And I would always tease people because my husband, before he passed, he would always say, girl, you my diamond. We could go anywhere and all the heads gonna turn because when we walk in, we the couple. And so I guess because all my entire life growing up as a child, being an only child, my dad put me on the pedestal. Then I married my husband and he put me there. So my self-esteem has always soared through the rooftop and I never looked back. But I know there are several plus size women, and I was going to do a thing for just the plus size women because there's so many of them without high self-esteem, without being able to love themselves. And I say every day when I go to work, when I walk through the hallway, they say, Dr. Bacon, you bringing it today. And I say, I'm going to bring it to you every day because I'm going to represent the plus size woman until I get to the size that I want to be. And even when I get there, I'm still going to represent because if you don't love yourself and if you don't feel good about yourself, you might as well put your head down in a bucket of sand. Because when I walk through, that song, Walk Through, I'm going to walk through. And that's all I got to say. I'm going to put my hand down because,
Well,
you have to.
I got a question. Have you ever been in a situation where you, at one point, your body had changed and you felt uncomfortable? in your skin?
No, because I guess I've been married majority of my life, and I used to always tell people, when you're good with your spouse or your mate, baby, you can make love with the lights on, and you got rose and he got rose, and you just making that thing happen. So I've just always been comfortable in my skin, regardless if I was a size 22, if I was a size 14, whatever size I was, because I have clothes in my closet literally from a size 24 down to a size 12. And I said, I'm not going to go back to the 24. So every time I make that dress size drop, I say, I'm doing a check mark. And when the gastric bypass first came along, I asked my husband, I said, babe, should I get, he say, no, baby. He says, because that's a very serious surgery. And I would rather have you the way you are, opposed to you going to get a gastric bypass and then you pass on the table. So I always feel good about myself, but there is always a but. You can always be better. And that's how come I work toward. I thank God I don't have that high blood pressure, high cholesterol, any of that. And the doctors think it's so amazing that I have a perfect health. I just need to lose 53 pounds. So when that 53 pounds is gone, boy, you think I'm going to be walking through, I'm going to be coming through, stepping like I'm stepping on diamonds. So that's it.
I like your confidence. I do. But like I was stating, with my current appearance right now, I feel like, for instance, my outfit that I put on and I didn't think I can ever get on, I wore it to church and I got plenty of compliments, but I had to wear uh, so it can look smooth, I had to wear a tummy trainer just so that one side to me that's lopsided was be even with the other side.
Well, you
So
put on that
it's
smoother so you can feel good. If that's what's
right.
going to make you feel good, put it on and wear it.
Right,
You
but
know,
my
and
biggest thing out of saying that is once I took my clothes off, it went back to that appearance. So
but
my
you
thing is this: I can make myself look as fine as I can be with my clothes on, and my family who are on here can contest to that. I try to make my appearance look as good as possible. So yeah, when you walking with me, you be proud to walk with me, male or female. But my confidence level when I come home and take those clothes off is a different aspect.
but
But
I'm going to
my
say
biggest
this
thing,
to you, chocolate pearl.
do I look good to my mate?
You got to look good
Fortunately,
to
I still
yourself
do.
first. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You got to look good to yourself first.
And that's
And
what I'm
you
trying
do
to
what you've
say.
been
I
through.
don't
You do
look
what you've
good
been
to
through.
myself. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. I don't look good to myself. I feel I do not look good to myself, but I do look good to my mate, or that's what he tells me.
So you
I
got
look
to work through
I look
that for
beautiful
yourself.
to him. But that's what I'm saying. My confidence level for because what I'm looking at is not what it used to be. You understand what I'm saying? It's not what it used to be. Anson can contest to that. He feels that after his accident, he is not like he was before. And that brings your level of confidence down a little bit, not tremendously, but a little bit, to say, okay, do I look good if he approaches a girl with that cane? Do he think he still can get her? Because in her mind, she might think that, well, he got that cane, something wrong with him. He probably
Right.
can't work the way he can't do this. He can't hang. He can't. The sex ain't gonna be good. He probably thinks that in his mind. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just the fact that, do you feel that that's important when you're with your mate, or to keep that love in your mate's eyes, say you still are attracted to them? They can say it, but then you have times where people say it and they keep it moving because they're really not happy with that double stomach and that cake,
But let me
you
say
know.
this to you, chocolate pearl. And the reason why I keep saying, if you don't feel good about yourself, people pick up your energy.
Right.
And if your energy is on a plateau, or if it's just standing there, if you start to feel that you're unattractive, you're not putting off the radiance of a beautiful
Right.
Black woman.
Right.
You have to deal with that from the inner. And
Right.
with Anson, and the reason why it touches my spirit, because when when my cousin was laying up in the hospital and didn't know cat from rat, rat from cat, but God allowed him to be here. If he had to roll himself in a wheelchair, he is still here. He is still amongst the living. So he has some obstacles that he's a young lady that can't accept him for who he is. He don't need her no way, because whoever you're with is going to love you for you. And if they don't, that's not the person for you. Keep it moving, because God will bless you with that right mate to love you for who you are, whether he walks with a cane. Look at women that are married and then all of a sudden something happened to their mate and they're now paraplegic and they got to take care of them. They got to do this. If that person really loved them from the get-go, they're going to stick it out through thick and thin. So you continue to work on yourself to look in the mirror. And like you say, it looks different. You're still healing. And until you get there, you got to work with what you got.
But to that, I would like to say is that I don't want anyone to have pity for me. I don't want to
Exactly.
be. I don't want to be with no one that looks at me with pity. I want someone to be with someone that admires my drive. That's what I want. I don't want someone that's gonna say,
not giving up.
"Oh, that's okay. It's okay. You got a cane. That's okay if you can't walk on your own. That's all right." No, I don't want that. I want someone that's gonna be like, "You got a cane right now, but wait till you get rid of that cane."
Exactly.
All right, now speak
Right.
it into existence.
Oh, Cassandra, you had your hand up, and then Heather. I'm not sure if you know what the topic was, or the not necessarily the topic, but the question was.
No,
Um,
I don't know what the question was, but I want to play on the last woman. I didn't catch her name, but kind of looking at yourself and feeling validation, because I have been going through that. And I started to go to the gym, and for me, she sounds like she has a significant other, and I don't have a significant other. And I was like, it's hard to dig into myself to figure out, why do I need to work out? I'm looking at myself and I let myself get out of shape for a while because I was having whack ass sex. I was not like, there was no motivation. There's no motive. Like, what's the motivation? You get physically tight to take selfies, but you want to get physically tight to whatever.
Nowadays, people do. They sure do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need a motivation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, like, what is this motivation?
The motivation is for yourself.
I get that, the for yourself, but you understand, when you sexually deprived, you like, I ain't had no good, and I had to think about it. Even when I was little, I still wasn't really sexually satisfied. You coming quick, you doing this, you doing that. Like, I'm still frustrated. Like, we have a disconnect. So, and then when I got older, I'm like, damn it, I want mine. So where can I get mine? And now I'm still having to disconnect. And I'm like, shit, like, why can I get mine? Why is it my needs important? And that's when I went on my hiatus. I didn't stop having sex because, ooh, I want to get married. Not because I don't want to get married. Not because, ooh, I need to find my husband. Because I felt like my needs weren't important to this man. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And I'm like, what is the disconnect? And it was like, oh, you need to look physical. I did anyway. Put all that aside. So when I came to this space where I'm at in my life, I call it, I'm selfish. And don't expect much from me right now, because anything left I have to give, I'm giving it to myself. And it's just for me. And kind of see what I see my motivation is. It's probably I have two sons. and one is married, one is not. And I see the young women that's coming up. And you know how you look at these young women, you're like, oh, I used to be like her. Oh, I used to be like her. And I feel like a little challenge, you know, you can't get me. And then you know how they get, you know how the little grown, the new grown kids, they think they grown. You ain't grown. But I get you're grown. I respect your grown. But now I feel like a challenge, like, I want to introduce you to my grown. And I love your grown, but let me tell you what I was beast with. Because I kind of let her die, but I'm about to breathe some life into her. You know what I'm saying? To introduce, you know, the new, you know,
the new and improved.
Yeah, I'm gonna introduce you. Let me say, I know you're grown, and I appreciate, respect your grown, but I am grown. So I'm gonna bless you with her real bit, because I forgot her, you know, because I put her on the back burner for a little bit. So me and her getting reintroduced, and so I'm almost like we about to beast out real quick, because you know these newly grown, they got big heads. And I'm about to, like, you know, as long as God keep waking me up, and every time, I swear to God, I wake up, I say, you woke me up again. I'm supposed to be doing something today.
Okay.
So that's it. So
Thank you.
So you got
Heather?
something. You keep waking up, you got something to do.
There you go.
Heather.
Hello, good folks. Please excuse me. I'm in the laundromat, New York City life. I've been listening, and I feel like I wanted to contribute to this part. I've been hearing a lot of like body image and self-esteem things as it relates to how we show up to our partners and to ourselves. And all my life, I've always been athletic. I've played basketball. I've coached all kinds of sports. And I find myself in my mid-40s feeling like I'm comparing myself to women that are getting their bodies done. It seems to me that a lot of men are attracted to women that are getting stuff done. And it feels like the regular schmegular girls, BBLs, everything under the sun, you know, I mean, I have no problem with the weaves. I mean, if that's what a woman feels that she needs to do for her self-esteem, or she may have got a mastectomy, or she may have had all kinds of health issues. But what I find is that the attention of men in my age group has moved towards what seems like it's not real. And along with some of the attitudes of some women that get their bodies done is that I got this body done, I got your attention, you need to take care of me, you need to pay to take care of me. And what gets lost is that when these men deal with these women who end up using them and all kinds of stuff, they come back to the regular schmegular girls, right? As what's her name would say, Cardi B. And it's almost like we've always been here. And now it's forcing me to feel like I gotta compete against something like that. Like it's not real per se. You know what I mean? And at the same time, without downing women who get their bodies done, it feels like what goes along with that, the superficiality of it, is everything that comes with it, like name brands and all of this stuff. And this is what these men are looking for and ready to go buy bags and do all this stuff for the women. And then I have felt oftentimes that, okay, now I'm measuring myself. And I'm like, I'm not going to go pay to get my body done. I'm actually happy with myself. But I also wonder how many men understand what our bodies go through as we get older. I've dealt with
and vice versa
issues.
for men. They go through,
yes, and vice versa for men.
The how to call it, like my son who's about to turn 30 next week. You know, he was in the military. He played football, and then for some apparent reason, once he got married to a woman that can cook real well and cooks every day, he got a daddy. How they say it, a daddy gut now, or a dad bod. He got a dad bod.
But I wonder how much pressure is put on men to maintain and keep up an expectation of whatever their partner wants. I've also experienced that. I've dealt with, and I am dealing with, and men should know this, that a lot of women, especially Black women, is prevalent, is fibroids, you know, whether it runs in your family and all these different things. So things like your midsection, or you just, you know, how you show up as you get older, you're trying to mitigate some of this stuff, whether it's through surgery or whether right now I'm doing holistic stuff. And I still work out. It got to a point where somebody was like, Heather, you're not as snatched as you used to be. Not Heather, you're always in the gym. And I'm like, listen, I can't control this until I find a way to try and do it holistically so I don't have to get surgery. This is what I'm giving. This is me. You know what I'm saying? Everything else inside of me and the passion that I have is still here. But you're so focused on how I show up in the world if I'm with you, or how people look at me if I'm with you, or whatever. And it's just like, it tends to definitely make me undervalue myself. And I have felt that actually recently. And these years, my 40s, once I turned 40, are the most feminine years that I've ever felt, you know, in terms of, you know, feeling like, wow, my sexuality, I'm really getting into that. I want to explore different things. But then it'd be that one comment that just takes you, like, it makes you spiral a little bit.
Right.
And, you know, I'm sensitive to men. I'm sensitive to men and how they show up in the world. Men are not going to look like they did when they were 20, because I sure don't look like I did when I was 20. But at the same time, you know, you want to be desirable to your partner. You want to be desirable to yourself. Right. I have those moments, and, you know, I do affirmations to keep reminding myself who I am and how I show up, whether it's physically or whether it's, you know, with my mind, emotionally, because how things are moving these days in the dating game, you will definitely take yourself out because you don't feel like you're desirable to anybody. So, you know, it's a constant work in progress. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. I really appreciate that.
That's how a lot of majority of men
anybody
feel.
else?
I'm gonna have to, ladies, I'm definitely gonna have to do this thing on self-esteem and getting my ladies together, because you know what? When I hear stuff like that, it makes me think, wow. And I don't deal in vanity. I deal in self-confidence. So I'm going to really think about putting something together for women as a whole to build your self-esteem. And regardless, working out, if you do that, that's great. But I always say, love who you are from within.
Yeah, love yourself.
Got to.
But you have to realize that sometimes it's not as easy to do that. You know, you have said on many shows that your parents have built that confidence in you. They've always told you how beautiful you are and all that other good stuff. Not a lot of people have that, or have that support. Not a lot of people, they go through a lot of stuff. Like my brother and I, we both went through, you know, our parents said they had good looking kids, which they do. But when you have peers that constantly say the differ, you start to believe more of your peers than what you believe of your parents, because you say your parents supposed to love you anyway and all that other good stuff. But you got to realize that there's a lot of things out there that's going to get in the way of you trying to keep yourself
self-esteem.
Up. Your self-esteem, keep that self-esteem lifted. A lot of people don't realize that. I love the fact that your parents, and you kept that in your mind, but there are still a lot of people around you that will bring you down.
People don't talk about that.
That will bring you down consistently. Now with my daughter, she's a beautiful woman. And I've always taught her, because I knew about my low self-esteem as a child. I've always told her that she was a beautiful girl. I've always told her, don't let nobody block your blessings. Don't let anybody tell you to differ, because I am the ruler of what goes on and how you look. Because I said so, it is so. That's what I build in my child, because it was not built in me. Not to say that my parents neglected, because my daddy loved me. I was called his pumpkin. But then I know that my sisters were called his pumpkin too, you know. But it's just, it was a special thing. But you still have those peers in life to tell you to differ. So now when you're with someone, you still want to look and you still want to feel that you are still sexy to your mate. You want to still feel that once your mate comes through that front door, that's what they want to come to, is to you. And during the day, they're thinking about you. Are you holding yourself and your appearance and your physical fitness up enough to make sure that he does not have any reason to look the other way? Miss
If
Mills?
they look,
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Where's my
They-
what can't say this? I can't find my thing. Okay, so there's this woman. Y'all know Ray J. You may not know Ray J. She's married to Prince. He's married to Princess Love. She said she would have threesomes and she is very skinny. She's very beautiful.
beautiful.
She would have threesomes with her husband to try to stop him from cheating. Guess what, ladies? It did not stop him from cheating.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying to you is that you own your sexiness. We have, and you know, I have to. I'm still trying to find who the fuck I am. I'm sorry to be cursing on your thing, but I do swear because I'm in my seeking empty nester space trying to figure out who I am. Life is short. We may not wake up. So every time I wake up, I'm like, God, you woke me up today. I'm supposed to do something. So I'm supposed to do something. So what I'm saying to you is that no matter how slim you may think you get and how snatched and big booty, that ain't gonna keep nobody. It's not gonna keep nobody. And it is about how we feel about ourselves, and how we have to teach people is how we treat ourselves and what we tolerate. Because if you tolerate bullshit, people think I'm gonna give her bullshit because she tolerates it. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, if you don't look like, people mirror actions. I gotta show you how to love me. Let me show you by how I love me. So you gotta match my energy on how I love me. You know what I'm saying? So it's the mirror image. How can somebody love you, but you don't love you? And you can't show somebody how to love you if you don't demonstrate to them how you love you. You know, you giving them the direction. I'm gonna dictate how loving you should look like. Who the fuck does that? No, like, I'm going to show you what it takes to love me by the way I love me.
Yeah. I got you. I understand that.
Dr. Fabulous, you had something to say before she.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
What
I'm sorry.
That's okay. What I was saying was, and as I said, I've always been a daddy's girl, husband, great. If I could pull him up out the grave, I would. However, I was dating someone, and he said that it was his culture. Like, I'm used to being, oh, babe, you smell good. Oh, babe, you look good. And we had gone somewhere, and we were gone on a trip. And it was like 2-3 days. The first day he said, oh, you know, you smell good or whatever. And then 2 or 3 days elapsed, went by. He didn't say a word. And I'm not used to that, because I'm used to my man giving me compliments, you know, oh, you look good, da 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 da. And I said, because I felt some kind of way. And so I told him about it. And his words were, because you're with me, you already know you're beautiful. And I was like, no, I can't accept that, because I know I'm beautiful, but I'm worthy of you appreciating me and telling me the same, because sometimes it feels good to hear it. And he said in his culture that they didn't do that all the time, and he was going to work at it. And baby, before we was off that trip, he was like, oh, you smelling good. Oh, you're going, because, and as she says, you have to train people the way you want them to treat you. Because had I not said anything to him about it, he wouldn't have ever thought anything else about it, because I was going along with his program. But if you want to teach somebody how to treat you and love you, you got to do what? Communicate. And that's what I did to him. And so now he knows. We're not just going to be him humming, and you're not going to give me a compliment and I'm going to give you a compliment. And that's what it is. So now he knows. But I had to first tell him the way I was feeling some kind of way because he wasn't doing what I was expecting. And that's all I got to say. I'm gonna lower my hand
Thank
now.
you. Miss Millie, answer, hold on, but Miss Millie, you had your hand up and you put it down.
Go
You want
ahead.
to
It's
still
okay.
say something?
It's okay.
You sure?
Mhm.
Okay, answer.
Yeah, I just want to say that I am all for self-confidence. I think my cousin will attest for me and say I am one of the most confident men out there. Ain't nobody for knock my confidence off pedestal. But what I will also be very adamant about is don't let your self-confidence take you away from being holding yourself accountable for your actions. Because when it boils down to you interacting with anyone, it's all about you. It's all about what you do.
Right.
So hold yourself accountable for what you do. So if, like right now, for instance, for example, I am now recovering. When I woke up out the coma, I had to relearn how to walk. That was the most humbling thing ever.
Right.
I'm a grown man. I played football, wrestled, ran track, and I had to learn how to walk again. That was very, very humbling. But I hold myself accountable. Guess what? I know how to, I can walk again. I don't have to be pushed around in a wheelchair. I have a cane, but I don't really need it all the time. I just need it to keep me stable every once in a while. But that's just my confidence working to improve myself. And my confidence is I'm holding myself accountable
Right.
to be as confident as I was before.
Right.
And also with his speech, he wasn't able to speak well at all. He had to go through speech therapy, the
Yep.
whole nine. So God has truly blessed him and brought him a mighty long way because we never thought he was going to ever be able to speak or walk again.
God be the glory.
I could be
Praise
dead
God.
right now, but my self-confidence was there and is still there to keep me moving forward and holding me accountable to doing better. So don't let your self-confidence be a crutch. That's my
Right.
message. That's what I want
That's
to
why
say.
I think a lot of my family members is kind of shocked when I spoke about that to them. That what? Oh no! Like my cousin Danny was like, "Oh no, I don't believe you. This ain't true." Because he said, "I know that you. Soon as you get that body straight, I know you're gonna be snatched and all this other good stuff." That because of that's how my confidence level was. Is I'm fine. I'm beautiful. But there are times when you don't feel that way. Don't get me wrong. I know I am beautiful inside and out. I was just saying that my physical appearance right at this moment, and like my cousin told me earlier, I'm still 3 months in post-op. I still, it's actually going to take me up to a year to fully heal. But my mindset is like, why is it still looking like this? You know what I mean? Why is it still looking like that? I know whoever's attached to my Facebook pictures, Facebook, you see my pictures. I post really nice pictures, but I make sure that they look good before I post them, because that day I was confident to say, okay, I look good. There was actually one picture that I wasn't feeling too well, but I was trying to cheer someone else up. I had a beautiful, comfortable yellow dress on, went to the beach, and my friend took pictures of me. Didn't know that she was taking those pictures because I went to the water and I didn't think she was taking them as I was walking, and she did. And as I was coming back, my dress got wet. I stuck it into my top and she was taking the pictures. Didn't realize that she was doing that. And when I looked at the picture, you can see my scars. You can see my incisions, but the picture was still beautiful.
Beautiful. The
That
picture was still
built
beautiful.
my confident level to the utmost, because even with those scars, I was beautiful. But
Beautiful.
once again, there are times where when I look in the mirror, I don't feel as beautiful. And I wonder if I feel that way or look that way to my mate. Fortunate enough, my mate is a very, very confident man who tells me I am beautiful every single day, and not just to be routine. He tells me. Now, I know I get on his nerves sometimes and he get on mine, but he still will tell me, ain't nothing wrong with you. You know
That's
what I
where it's
mean?
supposed to
So,
be.
so that, I mean, that's good enough. And my family tells me, oh girl, ain't nothing wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Everything's fine, you know. And so I have
And
a
they
good
should
support
tell you
system,
that,
but there are
because you know
times where
what?
people,
They're telling you that you're still here, Chocolate Pearl. Because some people
I know,
that went through, you went through, they're not here. They're 6 feet under.
I know, I
That's the
get it.
blessing in itself.
But you still need to
She's
realize
gorgeous,
that
but
the people
face to
level
face,
of
she's
their
beautiful.
mindset sometimes is not as strong as others. My mindset at times is not as strong as yours. So when I look at myself, it's a different thing. But like I said, I wanted to know if I am my appearance. I know that I am, but I'm just
You
discussing this
are
with y'all.
beautiful. You are beautiful.
Thank
That's
you.
all I want to say. You
I
are absolutely beautiful.
thank you so
Everything.
much. I really appreciate that. However, I just, like I said, it was just something that I was discussing with y'all, or I
Okay.
felt I needed to know. Do anybody else go through those troubles?
Hell
Heather,
yeah. I go through all day,
Heather,
every day.
I love the fact that Heather has expressed almost exactly what I wanted to express, of how I felt about the world and society, as well as my personal thoughts about certain things. Cassandra, I know you have your hand up, but can we give someone that hasn't had a chance to talk to say something? Dawn, can you go ahead?
Yeah, hi everyone. Um, well, I'm gonna kind of piggyback on what Anson said earlier about how we are a work in progress, and we all are. Our confidence level ebbs, it's like an ebb and flow. There are days when we are, on top of the world. Our confidence is as high as it can be. And there are times when it's not, and that's just human nature.
Right.
You can't always feel the most confident every day, and anyone who says that they do, then they're not being genuine.
Exactly.
Because we have times when we don't feel like we look our best, or we might be heavier than what we want to be, or not heavy enough, or it ebbs and flows, and that's just the nature of human beings. But I also want to say, being your cousin, I don't want to discount your feelings. You have a right to them. We are not walking in your shoes, even if someone has the same or similar experiences that you do. No one walks in your shoes but you. And
Right.
you have 100% right to feel the way that you feel. Like I said earlier, you are just 3 months out, but sometimes we have expectations, and reality doesn't live up to those expectations that we have.
Right. Right.
And so what we have to do is figure out how to readjust it, how to live with the expectations, and based on our reality. And our reality is that we're not perfect.
Right.
And when we realize that we're not perfect, then the way we feel about our walk changes. And
Right.
so what I want to say is that whatever your confidence level is, some people are just naturally more confident than others, and it can be an innate thing, and it can also be something that has been taught to you. So I think that whatever your confidence level is, you own it, you realize it, and then you work through it.
Right.
I'm not always the most confident, but when I'm in that place where I know I'm kind of, not where I should be as far as my confidence level, I do something that I know is going to make me better. So I had to say thank you.
I don't have any more money to do that, because I buy clothes all the time. I shop all the time. I done ran out.
Look, me and my shopping habit, but there is always PayPal paying for But but anyway, I just wanted to say that we all are imperfect beings, but we can be our best when we realize that.
Thank you so very much.
All right, babe. Love you.
Love you. Cassandra, did you still want to say something, or did she say something that kind of what you was going to say?
Yeah, she did really say things that I was really going to say. I think you guys are, yeah. Yeah,
All right. Well,
and beautiful. Look at, she's beautiful. Like sometimes we are our own worst critics.
We are. I am. I know I am. I am
know I
my
am too.
worst critic. I think that's why my side businesses don't go very far, because I just, I'm my worst critic. But I'm working through that, y'all. I'm working through that. I promise you I am. I'm working through that. Before I give this over to Dr. Fabulous, I want to thank everybody for your comments. I really appreciate it. Anson, I love you for that as well, because for some reason you and I are connecting on this issue right now. I am a beautiful woman. I feel beautiful, but there are some days where I don't. Like my cousin said, everybody don't feel 100 every day. And those days that I don't feel 100, I do wonder. But my confidence level, especially after what I've gone through, has really enlightened me, and God has given me another chance to do it better. And I am going to continue to do it better. Watch at the party, because I'm going to be diva down.
When you have your hard days,
you telling me to sit your tail down.
When you have your days,
Chocolate
use your
Pearl,
lifeline.
I want to say this, that there's been moments, me being an empty nester and trying to figure out who I am. Like, I really wanted to die a few times. Like, I didn't see a reason to live. Jeez. And every day I wake up, it's like the Drake lyric says that I know my days are numbered, but I keep waking up. So every day now I wake up, I'm supposed to be doing something, so because God woke me up today, I need to do something. And so I'm like, I don't want to disappoint his gift to me.
Right. That's why I said God has given me another chance to do it better. And I am. Miss Miller, you had said something.
When you're having your hard days, use your lifelines, phone a friend.
First I call my sisters all the time.
But always look up to the hills from where your help comes, and he will direct your path, and he'll have that light shining that you need to shine all the time. Even when you don't see it, it's there. So always remember that when you're having those little light, we're going to call them light moments. Remember that. Like
I said, Miss Millie, thank you for that, because I do have a really, really good support system, a real good support system. But because I live by myself, sometimes them thoughts go through my head, you know what I'm saying? But for some apparent reason, my sisters call, even my brother texts me every once in a while out of the blue, and it just perks me back up. So I have a wonderful, 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 wonderful support system. It's just sometimes you have those weak moments and you deal with those, but trust and believe. I'm going to keep on trucking, and I'm going to get better every day. And I appreciate all y'all comments and all y'all love. And yes, I do know that I am beautiful, because I am Chocolate Pearl.
Well, thank you, Chocolate Pearl. And we're going to move a little differently. Types of attraction. And I'm going to open it up. When you're in a relationship, there are more than one way for attractions with your mate. Some of them are sexually, romantically, sensual, aesthetic, and monetary. So, with that being said, I would like for someone to share with me the most. All right, I see your hand. Go ahead and tell me the type of attractions that you get and give in a relationship.
first I want to take the relationship out of it. I can't even get to the relationship phase. So I
Okay.
don't know. I'm trying to looking for a tingle in my coochie. I'm trying to looking for like, remember back when you was younger and it was like, you look at them, you like, ooh, I get that little tingle. That tingle is phasing. I don't know why it's phasing. It's just like, what you want? It's like, so I'm longing for that tingle. I'm longing for that, that instant lust connection. I haven't felt that in years.
Wait a minute,
So now
wait a
I'm
minute.
Use the
looking
term
for
look for
something
butterflies
else.
I'm
in
gonna
your
stop
stomach.
you in
I'm
mid-sentence.
just saying,
You say you want that lust.
not, you remember that, I know you can't like build, you cannot base a really good relationship off of lust, but it's that like when he
Look for
look
the
at you,
butterflies
that
in your
thing,
stomach.
the butterflies, yes.
Yeah, let's say
Okay,
butterflies in your stomach.
you
Let's
missed
not use that other term.
Yeah, but okay, the butterflies, like you missed the butterflies.
Yes.
And now,
So
as
you
I
want
get
that
older
real
and I've
good.
had my experiences of so many like that kind of shit, and I'm just like,
So
what
you want that real turn on. So you haven't had it in a hot moment. So you got to go into that. You say you haven't gotten to the relationship mode
You
yet.
can't get to I can't get to relationship because I can't get past all
Okay, all right. So with that being said, when you meet that person or whatever, you all got to play that little icebreaker. You got to have an icebreaker to tell him what you're expecting and how this is going to be, because if you don't tell them, they don't know what's going to really get you.
But what if he changes to match that, and then you get involved, and he becomes who he really is? Because that's where like some people, you tell them so much, then they modify who they really are to match your expectations, and then they reel you in. Now you're emotionally invested, and now they're showing you who the hell they really are, which is nothing like, they,
okay, well,
so
see, you got off track.
I don't want to tell
I'm
them
trying to get you your tingle. We said we was working to get that tingle right.
You can't get that tingle until she get her rocks off.
You see?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get you in the direction to get that good tingle sensation, because you say you haven't had it in a while. Tracy, come on.
Yeah, I haven't. But if I unleash it, it's hard for me to retract it. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to release it on that proper man that's truly meant to handle all of
that.